Well, how much do we know about Panel?
Pan Electric? Yeah, heard about it.
Apparently he has the backing of that Malaysian businessman, Tan Koon Swan.
Forward contracts is where everyone's making bank.
What if the stock prices go down?
Why are you interested in Panel?
There was this article in the Singapore Monitor, something that alleged about insider trading.
What number would look good?
I'd like to buy Supreme shares.
The stock is fluctuating
The
wildly.
price dropped quite a bit.
But I'm all in.
The director in charge of the books is no longer in our service.
Many companies and brokerage firms have been doing forward contracts on Pan Electric.
Over 20 creditor banks have loaned more than $400 million.
We're looking at a total collapse of the Singapore economic system.
How much are we looking that is unaccounted for?
Your guess is as good as mine.
And this situation is an abyss. And our job is to find out how deep this goes.
The Stock Exchange of Singapore closed the exchange, a move unprecedented in its 12-year history.
The government had to step in because of the financial collapse of Pan Electric Industries.
In the wake of news that the financially troubled Pan Electric Industries, which owes over $400 million to more than 30 banks, was put into receivership, all trading on the Singapore Stock Exchange was suspended until further notice to prevent panic stock selling by nervous stockholders. Stock Exchange of Singapore Chairman Ong Jinan said, "It is to cool off the market and for the public to digest the news." Many brokers and remiziers were questioning the wisdom of the suspension. They say that when the market reopens, the falling prices could be just as severe or even worse.
Sir, can we have an update on Panel?
Panel is now in the hands of the Commercial Affairs Investigation Department and receivers Pricewaterhouse. There will be radical changes to the securities law, and one of them is that all forward contracts will be banned.
Value of our shares are being eroded. I'm scared there will be no buyers. Even if the government could set up a fund to when the market reopens, shares, we are the mercy of short sellers.
$180 million lifeboat fund will be set up to augment existing lines of broking firms and to cover those on the verge of insolvency.
Yeah, why did the authorities not come out with any verbal assurance? The financial community has been on tenterhooks for at least 2 weeks.
We will not apologize for any apparent tardiness on our end of the handling of the Panel debacle. Rome was not built in a single day. And I think getting this done in a day and night is an achievement.
So how many brokers will be drawing on this 180 million line?
None.
Maybe I'm simple-minded. Maybe there are some explanations. Did everyone just spend 36 hours agreeing on a credit line that nobody would tap?
We hope we will not have to use it.
We have a need to restore confidence in the stockbroking industry and to assure banks and the investment public that all is well. The Singapore Stock Exchange will resume on 5th of December, Thursday.
Your parents, the boys, they're all worried about you. I'm thinking move back to Sarawak. Maybe to change your environment will help. We could start all over again. May? Me.
$5,500 shareholders lost their investments, some their entire savings. Pan-Al's failure saw a collapse across their businesses, leaving many employees stranded.
Gaji kita bulan November ni masuk lambat. Dengar cerita syarikat kita ni ada masalah dengan bank.
Tapi Tan Koon Swan kan dah laburkan 8 juta lagi untuk selamatkan Pan-Al. Mungkin ada harapan kot.
Siapalah kita dekat syarikat-syarikat besar ni?
The nation was experiencing a double blow with the collapse in its first recession post-independence, a stark departure from the boom years of catch-up growth. Diminishing returns on investments began setting in, and unemployment rates were surging as the economy came to a grinding halt.
All right, everyone, listen up. Immediate delivery basis only, okay?
So this has been a nightmare. We're down what? 75? 79 points now.
I've never seen anything like this before.
Bad news for some, good news for others. There are opportunistic vultures picking up blue chips at low prices. Did anyone see any of the Asian Associated Securities brokers?
Huh? I don't think any of them are here today.
Peter, not academically inclined, he couldn't get into pre-university after his secondary 4 exams.
Yeah, he was an account clerk in Ernst & Winnie, then Young. Studied part-time to get his accountancy degree. Heard he worked all the way up to become Turkin's tax manager.
And he hired his own coach, became a champion bowler in Johor.
You know what? I heard he bought a house in Queen Astrid's Park and built a bowling alley in the basement.
He married Joyce Au. You know, the one? The family? The family owns Tiger Balm. And then he became a remissier.
He got a lot more connection in the financial world after he joined AAS.
Peter Tham's empire, propped up by fraud and deception, was nothing more than a house of cards.
We're dealing with messy, incomplete, almost nonsensical paperwork. It's like trying to unravel a tangled ball of yarn.
Someone is purposely making it hard for us to find what we need.
Distract, annoy. These are things from a con man's bag of tricks.
Rumors of Peter Tham in the States. Koon Swan is in Malaysia. Who should we focus on?
We stay on these three. Keep the pressure on. Close in. Let's tread carefully. They must not know what we have in them. Call in our contacts from here and abroad. Need to know basis. Let's put this close to our chest. Let's get them in the seat.
Francis Tan Kok Liang, 41. He graduated from Singapore Polytechnic in 1968. Married, has 2 children, devout Catholic, active at the Church of St. Mary of the Angels at Jurong Road. He's the first chief accountant at the Pan-Al Group. He's a director at GIH, Growth Industrial Holdings, Orange Grove, and Pan-Al.
Appreciate your time. Thank you. This way. Mr. Tan.
You are?
Thomas. This way.
He should be able to tell us about how Pan-Al's $140 million forward contract deal came about.
So, just some simple questions today. Won't take long.
Also, GIH holds a majority percentage in Selco Malaysia and a bunch of vessels through its subsidiary. It's basically a holding company. And according to Arthur Young's audit, the company has a negative asset value of more than 100 million. 50 million of GIH's investments were in companies related to Tan Koon Swan.
Kok Liang, I know you're not telling us everything. I have the evidence right here. You and Koon Swan are in my grip. The only difference between you two is I am talking to you first.
It was Peter and Koon Swan. They did everything. The forward contracts done up by Peter were due soon. And I think Koon Swan was pressed for payment. So I was told to use company funds to buy Supreme corporate shares worth $40 million. And another $5.78 million of Supreme shares.
I just don't have the time.
Koon Swan only wanted to sell at $1.75. Supreme was only trading at $1.60. So I had to use Panel to boost the Supreme share price. In a single day. Buying, selling, buying and selling. I believed that Koon Swan could save Pan Electric. And all I had to do was do whatever he asked.
And what about this? Small sum compared to what we were talking about, but still.
He wanted money for the fellow doing his autobiography. It was only $5,000. How could I refuse?
How's this coming along?
So who do you think triggered the collapse?
Most are pointing at Tan Koon Swan. But then again, that's an obvious choice.
Here?
Where's Conrad Raj?
The Indian guy over there.
Can go here. And then we can do...
So you're the idiot who caused everything.
Sorry?
If you didn't write those things, there would still be hope for Panel.
Hang on, what are you talking about?
You don't have the right to say anything.
Security!
You have to make the issue big. Get everyone, the banks, the government involved.
I think you got the wrong person.
All you reporters are always spinning your tails.
Excuse me?
Making the lives of people like us difficult. Calm down. Don't touch me. So many brokering companies, retirees, housewives, federal employees are suffering at your hands. This is all your fault.
Thank you.
They really need to tighten the security, huh? I'm going up.
Mr. Tan,
Why do you need to see me again?
are you not tired of interrogating my client?
This won't be interrogation, just a friendly chat to kill time. Huh?
You're this white knight, aren't you, Koon Swan? President of the MCA, son of a dumpling seller, worked in Esso and Guntings before managing multipurpose holdings.
Director of Malaysian companies, Supreme and Grand United Holdings. In Singapore, Sigma Metal. with 22.3% stake in Panel.
Thereby making you the single largest shareholder of Pan Electric. Enough muscle to push the share prices however you want it. Kok Liang has told us his story. What's yours?
Peter had agreed to buy Grand United Holdings shares worth $60 million from me. And in return, I would buy a block of Pan Electric shares of the same value. And at the end of the 6 months, we will take back our original shares at the same cost.
Of course, Mr. Tan, of course.
Think that could work?
We have a deal.
We have a deal.
Thank you, Mr. Tan.
But Peter put my name on more than what I asked for. We only agreed on Pan Electric shares.
Are we done?
I'm a businessman.
A businessman who pumped in $27 million to save a sinking ship, or to save himself.
I'm a businessman. I did what I had to do to save my company. Charge me if you have something, Mr. Knight. If not, maybe you should go after the person really responsible for this crisis.
I'll charge you when I'm ready.
With what?
I'll charge you when I'm ready.
And I'll beat it.
Mr. Tan. Mr. Tan.
You've got 6 months.
How do you feel about the 9 fresh charges made against you today?
Will you no longer be pumping any more money into Panel?
Robert Kwok's third bill of 20 million for you. Is he a close friend of yours? Okay, Mr. Tan has pleaded not guilty to the 15 charges. With Chinese New Year near the corner, we'll be applying for Mr. Tan to return to Malaysia. We will be ready for the trial in May. No more questions, please. Thank you. But... Mr. Knight.
So, will there be any more charges made against Tan Koon Swan between now and May?
If you think I'm a super efficient prosecutor who works flat out on the case, who knows? Okay, thank you.
Sir.
As everybody knows, we have been working with the creditor banks and other shareholders. But unfortunately, Pan Electric Industries will discontinue its operations. As such, Pan Electric Industries is going into liquidation.
Then how about benefits? Are you sure, sir?
I am positive.
After all the years, this is it?
Okay, guys, please be patient, okay?
I've just found out myself today.
We will sue the panel directors and all the stockbrokers involved in this saga. All our savings have gone down the drain, and somebody has to pay for it. That's why we are opposing the move to liquidate the group. And I have with me this 22-page submission for the court.
Does your family support your decisions?
Of course. All the way. Why shouldn't they? What's more important is this. PanL shareholders, if you're interested to do something, contact me.
The streets of Singapore were bustling with festivity, but beneath the surface, a dark cloud loomed. We were racing against time to piece together the truth of what had really happened.
Thank you.
Come in, Kenneth. Hi. Happy New Year.
Hello, Sam.
Kenneth,
Hi, Sam.
may you have a prosperous year ahead.
Sam, Happy New Year. It's been a while. How can we help you?
Well, I heard that you guys and JM Sassoon and Lee & Co. are free of forward contract obligations.
But still affected by them. We are hoping that things pick up.
Well, I heard that you're hiring. Well, I mean, look, I know some, you know, if you really want brokers. Look, I know it seems pretty obvious, but I'm actually asking more for myself.
Thomas.
Krishna, right?
Yeah. I need you to see this. This? There are more out there.
Sure then.
We tracked the share parcels mentioned by Kok Liang. They were passed on to panel. 34 million Grand United Holding shares. They were purchased at 175 per share, even though GUH was only trading at 134.
So this was in November '84, right? So Peter Tham probably ran these transactions through his brokerage firm AAS.
Yep.
Right. Okay. I understand that you have some concerns, but I'm saying that this is guaranteed returns.
Between November and December 1984, AAS began selling different amounts of the 34 million shares to various brokers.
I know these brokerage firms always earn a cut through these transactions.
Peter sometimes sold the lots at a loss and then bought them back again at a higher price. He did this several times. And he always sold it back to Panel well above the market rate.
This is a clear-cut case of market manipulation. Peter started it, but Kok Liang and Koon Swan kept it running. Criminal breach of trust. Draft up the charges for Kok Liang. We just need something more for Koon Swan.
Sir, I found this.
It's the exact copy. Are there any more duplicates? Yes.
This information doesn't leave this room. Call Interpol.
FBI.
Open it.
Who gave them permission to publish?
Oh, these guys are faster than Interpol, man. They even have the bit about Wendy finalizing extradition proceedings in Washington, D.C.
He's gonna run again. From London to Seattle to San Diego. Where's he going to next? The Antarctic?
Why don't you take a break? Spend some time with your wife?
Find him. Make it seem as if the heat is off him. That we just want to talk about the forward contracts his brokers did. Put it out there. Let it get to him.
After a few months, the trail of shattered lives and the missing millions begin to leave the front page. Life marched on.
Everyone, I just got news that Hotel Newell has collapsed.
Everyone's walking away from us. It's never going to stop. They will never stop.
We'll worry about this tomorrow, okay?
Peter Tham was on the run for a year and a half. But in the end, we got him.
Wendy. Oh, I thought you want to be here.
Did you come here barefooted all the way from America?
Shut up, I came straight from the airport. Where is he?
Do you know how to spot a guilty man? Say you have 3 chaps. Put them in holding overnight. The next morning, the one who's still sleeping is your man.
He's sleeping.
Had enough rest? Feel better?
Now, your lawyer has drilled into us that you're suffering from asthma. And high blood pressure, too. And heart disease? But perhaps it's just symptoms of having both your mistress and your ex-wife in the next room. Peter Tham, help us help you make this quick. How did you shut down the Singapore Stock Exchange? Peter Tham, how did you shut down the Singapore Stock Exchange? You know we're just trying to help you, Peter.
Sure, and I appreciate that. And I want to help you too. That's why I turned myself in.
We just want to hear your story.
It's right there.
You saw GIH and Panel as cash cows. So you started gaining control of GIH over a series of share purchases throughout 82 and 83. AAS clients who did not have the money to pay for their purchases immediately would sell their shares to GIH and Panel companies. At the same time, forward contracts would be entered into to sell the same shares back to AAS, usually after 6 months. The resale price of the shares would be higher, taking into account the interest charge that GIH and Panel had to bear, together with the profit margin. So, with the forward contracts and the rollovers, the resale price of these shares got higher and higher
until it became something that was hard to sell right back. And AAS ended up holding stocks with inflated values.
From 1983 onwards, you became bolder. Panel and GIH companies became your personal bank, transferring funds to AAS whenever it was needed.
But when the books didn't add up, your plan started to unravel. I ask you again. What happened to the missing 100 million from Panel and its subsidiaries?
Can't remember.
Come on. You were a director at these companies. Are you saying you're not that great at your job?
No, I really can't remember. But Kok Liang should. Kok Liang helped me with the accounts. He was the one who did all the transferring. Make things messy, so it's harder to track. He's a really good accountant.
It doesn't matter. It's a criminal breach of trust. Tan Koon Swan. We know there was an agreement made where you would enter Panel, GIH, and Ambassador Hotel forward contracts with him.
Tan Koon Swan thinks he's a smart businessman, always getting the funding he needs in the nick of time. People say that he's so capable, a strategist, a self-made man who understands the workings of all things business. I think I'm smarter.
He is opportunistic, narcissistic.
Are we talking about you or Peter Tham?
I did not say anything about good looking, did I? How has this joker managed to evade capture for so long?
Helps to have friends in high places.
Until the money dries up. How are you holding up?
How much have you been drinking again?
I'm just asking as a friend. That's all. Were you involved at all?
Took you long enough. I'm managing. Faring better than Peter. That I'll say.
I think I'm smarter.
We'll try again in the morning. Get some rest, will you?
Mr. Tan would like to enter a guilty plea for the single charge of abetting criminal breach of trust for the use of $144,852 dishonestly in a share transaction.
Kok Liang and I had to use that amount to pay off the forward contract interest owed to Lin Securities while we figured things out.
What about restitution? To a victim of a crime, the fact that his money is returned to him means more to him than seeing the offender put away for 20 years.
I can discharge the forward contracts and pay $34 million to Pan Electric and GIH, on top of the $145,000.
We understand that there is a fine with this charge, but we are hoping that nothing more that will affect Mr. Tan's political career.
The courts will be making that decision, not me.
I'm sure the courts will understand.
Let me get right to the point. It is in your best interest to plead guilty. You see, we set our sights on you from the start. Yes, you evaded us, but that was because we wanted to build a cage around you, one that you couldn't escape from.
AAS would have gone bankrupt if I did nothing. We had $1.1 million in overdrawn credit facilities, and we were owed another $11 million by a client. Eng Chin Ah. Eng wanted to raise funds by borrowing from the banks, and he asked if he could use some of my shares as collateral. But all my shares were pledged to the banks.
So you did the next best thing. Forge.
Eng used the forged shares as collateral and paid us with the funds loaned from the bank. But my firm was dying and he owed us money. I was trying to help. I even repaid his bank debts to get back the share certificates.
Does Mr. Eng know he used forged shares as collateral?
I was eager to recover the shares. Too eager. I'm sure he suspects that the shares weren't genuine. This is the exact kind of stuff that people lap up. You promised the world. Sold dreams in shiny packaging. You want those shiny things, but at discounted prices. You want to feel like you got a good deal, that you made a smart choice. But therein lies the delusion of money. You see, money is the same, whether you're rich or you're poor. What changes is the power that it holds over us. See, the rich, they think they're invincible, untouchable. While the commoner sees it as a lifeline, a ticket out of their struggle. But it doesn't matter whether you are rolling in it or barely scraping by. I am after your piece of the pie, and you won't see it coming. The trick? Make you believe that I have the key to what you desire the most. So, how do you think I did?
The Johor state government plans to review the rates of water supplies to Singapore. The government, however, rejected a proposal that water supplies to the Republic be disconnected. Johor will consider stopping purchases of purified water from Singapore.
Pan Al was delisted in 1987. Bank creditors got back 19 cents to a dollar only in 1995. Small shareholders got back nothing. The Securities Industries Act was passed on 31st March 1986. The act brings the securities industry under the direct supervision of the MAS. Forward contracts were and are still banned.
Never once, until I read it in the newspaper, did I expect Barron's to collapse.
Greed isn't just a crime. It's a cycle.
We're in the midst of a serious financial crisis. More businesses would close their doors, and millions of Americans could lose their jobs.
One thing is certain, While this story ends here, the next one has already begun.